this moving. It's Young People Nation.
Welcome to Young People Nation. Listen to us weekly as we commit to bring transparency, healing, and truth to the everyday situations in life that might bring you down. Join us for your weekly dose of inspiration. Thank you for listening to Young People Nation. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And now, here's your host, Eugene and Donna Perry.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Giving the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross.
Good day, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're listening. Welcome to our podcast and Young People Nation.
All right.
And today, the guest is the Perrys.
All right.
Yes, we found it very in our time of prayer and figuring out what to do for the next podcast and recognizing that the month of April is Autism Awareness Month. And we as grandparents, we're blessed that we have a grandson that was diagnosed with autism back in 2021. And so Mr. Peyton Eugene Parker is his name, and we are so honored to be a part of his journey. Now, first, we would like to always thank God first, our sponsors, those who support us financially in prayer and all factors. Thank you all so much. We could not have did this without God first and our supporters. So thank you so much. So, Mr. Perry, we're going to talk about autism.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be a challenging time, and I know that it's real personal because that's my guy. That little guy.
Yeah, he loves that little guy, and I do too. But it's something about those two; their connection is strong. So let's talk about it because we can't talk about it from a parental, but we could talk about it from a grandparent's view.
Yes.
Our family encountered a lot in 2021. Mm-hmm. And one of those things was when our grandson was diagnosed with autism. Mm-hmm. So talk about that and from your perspective as his grandfather.
Well, being that I knew nothing about autism when we first started.
Me neither.
I thought it was really a word. Let's listen to the word. There was something gifted in it. But it turned out to be a very demanding era because as we went on through the situation, my youngest daughter noticed it right off the bat, and she said Asperger, and I thought she was talking about hamburger. I was like, what is that?
Yes.
And really the Asperger part is a part like you take for instance Rain Man. Mm-hmm. He's very brilliant in counting and numbers and everything, but putting a normal sentence together or being social was very difficult because his brain works different. Mm-hmm. And that's what autism is in a whole. You have great intelligence, but your brain works different than everybody else's.
And fast. Like our grandson, Peyton, he could pick up something very fast.
Yes.
And we didn't recognize it was a real thing until we started getting more involved. Mm-hmm. And seeing that there's a whole community, like they just had an autism walk this month.
Right.
And so there's a lot of children that have this diagnosis.
Yeah, so one thing about autism that I found out is they don't know what causes it. Some people said it could be from the inoculations that you take from measles and other things, but they really don't know. Because our family history, we have no members that have it.
Correct.
And on my side or my wife's side, and then there's no indication of in any of that that happened later on. And then you ask yourself what you've been exposed to and all like that. But all my kids was born before I went to war and been exposed to nerve gas and other things during wartime, but my kids were already born then.
Yes.
So that had nothing to do with it. And
it's unexplainable.
It's unexplainable. And the more we went into studying of it and experiencing it, we were not alone. It was many kids all across the spectacle.
Yes.
And it was amazing that a whole new world was there, but it was invisible to the naked eye. When you go into the insight of someone having a disability, they are invisible until they hit home.
Say that again. And it causes you to, because we've readjusted, well, we had to readjust our life because of what God told us to do.
Yeah.
However, knowing that our grandson was diagnosed with this, we got on board immediately. But I want us to talk about our daughter Nina as a mother.
Yes.
She is phenomenal.
Yes, she is.
Very selfless. She gets a huge check mark as a mother.
And one thing about that, I want to say, as a mother of a parent, in that field, God is not punishing you because your child has autism. It's not a punishment for any sin or anything or a generational curse. These things are unexplainable, and
That's
really
good.
we can't do the blame game. That's
right.
That's the first thing that come in line. You cannot do the blame game when you have a disabled child.
That's right. You just have to get on board and get in the game and see what your portion is. Watching her as her parents and as Peyton's grandparents, she has just dived in this and making sure he's at the proper school, getting the proper therapy, making sure she's a loving mother. I just stand back and watch.
It is a lot of work.
Yes.
Society does not make it easy for you. People, unless you meet someone that's gone through it or is going through it, there are a lot of programs out here. And Easter Seals, Autism Society, Social Security. It's a lot of programs out here. Where we live at and all is schools for the disabled that you can go to, and these things are there, but how to get to them is the hardest part.
Well, it's like I watched her again, going back to his mom. She connected with communities that could help her. And so that's the key. You've got to get in that community to get the resources that you need. And so Peyton just adores his mother. You know, and very protective of her.
He'll jump out with sticking his chest out and you come too close to him.
Yes. And so watching him since age, 2, 3? He was diagnosed at age 3. He has really moved forward as she's learning. And for us as the grandparents, we respect her decisions that she make when it comes to him. And we get on deck and we get in the place where we can assist her. Okay. And then there's the community that she has connected herself with that has really helped her tremendously. So audience, for if your child has any form of disability, please get with the community that has many resources that are able to help. Like she going to ABLE and he being there and getting the help and going to speech therapy and occupational therapy. It is work.
Yes. You see, you have to understand, autism is the children that have are brilliant. They're very intelligent.
Yes.
But they're behavioral. It's a behavioral thing, and they're brilliant. But it's like a fish in the fish bowl. They have to invite you into their world. They're not coming to yours. You had to come to theirs, and then they have to invite you in. And once they invite you in, and they start to learn more how the world outside the fishbowl works, it's like the fish coming to the top, getting ready to come out. You take a jar, and you unscrewing the cap of a bottle or a jar, and each little victory is a celebration.
Yes, it is. Yes. It brings tears to your eyes.
Yes.
As they're moving forward, and like when we watch Peyton spell spaghetti and write it.
Yes.
You understand? And broccoli, and yes. he just did it.
He just realized there's a world besides theirs.
Yes.
Because they're a captive in their own world, and in this world is no one else in their universe but them, and they are not even aware of other people that are around them for their basic needs. Cause I know when he was a little tiny baby, he would sit there and he'd be locked in on a little program and all like that. And if you disturb him and all, that's the only time he'll notice you, because he's in his own little world.
And he would look at you like,
yeah. He didn't cry. He didn't make the facial gestures, recognize or say mom and dad, and then even recognize his own name, which was very demanding on us as grandparents and parents. Sure, we say that he says something or he's signifies something, but anybody else wouldn't know it unless you've been around him.
Yes. And
then like now he doesn't hardly say too many words. He has the capability of saying the words, but he doesn't feel comfortable in using it or seeing a need to use it. And that's a big demand. And sure, when it first started out, we had great focus of what he was going to be. The next president of the United States, a great basketball player, a great lawyer, doctor, and all like that.
Yes.
And now we see that we have to help him to reach his goals.
And he can still be those things.
Yes, he can.
He can. And that goes with my next topic of discussion. Structure.
Yes.
Order.
Yes.
They are about structure and order.
Yes.
And anything out of that it can be chaotic for them.
Well, to keep it real, you need a mother and a father to be in their lives.
Yes.
And men, we really have to get on board, because something is wrong with the child, or the child isn't what you think they're supposed to be, you're the first to cut out. I have to say it about men. They are the first to cut out. They look for excuses to get rid of the wife and get rid of the kid and act like they don't exist no more. And they're quite comfortable in trying to start another life somewhere else. But you still have a kid that needs you and needs your input.
Absolutely.
You might come with that excuse, I don't do well with small kids, or I don't handle babies and all like that. And that's a big cop out, because these kids take note of that.
Yes, and they know when you care.
Yes.
They are very aware. They're very sensitive if you care.
And the disabled people are almost invisible to you until it hits home.
Yes.
I have seen so many military wives that have disabled kids.
Yes.
And the first one to cut out is the man. And then they'll be pushing them in a wagon or a buggy, and they'll be caring for the kid themselves. And you see it all the time. And you say, wow, and how are they making it? Do they need help? And people kind of like sharing away from them, like they are contagious or something. And they don't go near them. They don't know what to say. and they don't know, and they heard the kid in the grocery store, or the kid is acting up or whatever like that, and that parent is going through a stressful time.
Yes.
They know they can't go out and be sociable. They can't go into public settings, to the movies, or even many times the church, because no one can control your kid but you.
Yes.
And in doing that, you have to have an understanding that could be you.
Yes.
That could be you. One thing about autism, it might not come in the first child you have, but it might hit the third child you have.
Yes, we've seen that.
Yes.
Yes, we've seen that.
Yep. That's why it's so unpredictable. You can have a bunch of kids, and then that one has it.
Mm-hmm.
And once they have it like that, you can't go and take a shot or take some medicine and all of a sudden it's cured.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have autism, you got the rest of your life, and it's all about the way you learn and conduct yourself, and the behavioral help them to reach a point where they can go to the next level of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a behavioral thing. It's not a disease, it's a behavioral thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they would go forth and they process differently.
Mm-hmm.
They process differently. Like you say 1, 2, 3, 4, and they may say 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
And until they get online and do it the way that you can understand. See, we are the ones that the adults,
yes,
that can't understand. The kid understands.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, my grandson can go on my phone, and matter of fact, I called him a couple of weeks ago, sending pictures of himself on Instagram to his mom, and just send pictures, and then he'll get on my email and type stuff in and send it off to whoever it is. And they said, why is Perry sending stuff like ABC or 1, 2, 3 and all like that? He be in there texting other people, and I had to check, make sure he ain't got his personal blog.
He FaceTimed me the other day.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's a lot that he understands.
Yes.
And you have to create an atmosphere where he's comfortable. He feels very comfortable. That's one thing that we recognize about Peyton, and Peyton is such a gift from God.
Yes, and we discovered also that he taught himself how to read, because he be spelling stuff like dinosaur, bleach, and other words that we never, and none of his little games telling him how to say that, and he be walking around like he ain't paying attention. And he remember the words, how to spell them. He'll write them down on the board and all like that. And as they go on, I tell you, it's a joy.
We're like cheerleaders when we see him making milestones.
Yeah, you celebrate every little victory.
Yes. It's little. It may be little to some people, but it's major.
Yes.
And he gets excited when we're cheering.
Yes.
And so, but we also need to let the audience be aware, just as a grandparent, and then watching our daughter. You have to be aware of the mental
stress,
tiredness that comes with that, because it's constant. It doesn't stop.
Well, being a single parent, it's 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. It's no relief. It's nobody there. If you got a devoted spouse, tag you it, and then it's your turn.
Yes.
Because I know when my kids were coming up and everything like that, my wife didn't have to do nothing when I got home, because I was on it.
Yes, he was.
No matter what I went through during the day, I spent time with my kids.
Yes.
And she could go over there and relax and do whatever she want and take the tensions off herself, because it was me and the kids then, and that was my time with them. And then when I got back to my unit. The troops were my time then.
and vice versa. You know, when you come out the field, hey, he knew he had his bath ready, everything ready, girls. You know, daddy got to, he got to take his bath. He got to get some rest. And so the exchange, and it's important to have that exchange. And sometimes, like you're stating about her being the single mother at this time in her life, that it's important for us around her community, which she has created a wonderful group of people that recognize where, wait a minute, let's go over here and see what we can do for Nina and Peyton, because helping Nina helps Peyton.
And as she gets those victories like that, that frees her up so that she can find a job, go to work, and do other things and live a normal life. Now, I want to say this, and these young ladies out here, don't be in such a rush to find a mate that mate doesn't meet the standard that he should. It's a lot of wolves out there in sheep clothing, and they look good, they sound good, and all like that, but they're just in there for a good time, and then when times get hard or challenging, they hit the door and gone, and then you left with the baby. You left with the baby. And you dare to raise the child, because you're not going to leave your child out there by themselves.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Yes.
But most women do not leave their offspring out there by themselves. That man will take off and go in a heartbeat, and then he go in somebody else's life and make their life miserable and all. That's why you have men out there. I was talking with one guy, and he has 22 siblings. All around the country, and they drop them kids off from town to town as they go. And with 22 kids, what you got to offer? And you're not really taking care of, but they can say they're your kids. And that's why young women don't fall by that thing. You waiting for your Boaz and all like that. Hey, that Boaz might be a Thomas. Or Jethro, and you wind up taking care of all of them.
Wow, and this can keep going.
However,
but that's great wisdom, young ladies, from a man who has been an amazing father and husband and stuck by his family. So please listen to that wisdom. This has been session 1, and we just want our audience to be aware that there are many children out there with autism, and there's different levels. So go out there and look at the autism websites and the communities that's out there. They're out there on Instagram, Facebook, and connect yourself with different things that can help you grow, parents. Okay? With autism or any form of disabilities that a child may experience, it is important for the mother to be healthy. And so mental health in these situations is vital. And so mothers, and even there may be some single fathers out there, okay, because you have that as well. You have the 988 hotline. We always like to give out these hotlines because it can be tasking. You have the text 741-741. That's free 24/7 service. The National Alliance on Mental Illness. And you can go to their website and check the state that you are in to find out where you can get help. And mothers, fathers who are dealing with children with disabilities, there's a 211 number that can give you general community resources. So, Mr. Perry.
Well, you need to take time out. Take a deep breath and smell the coffee and consider what you need to do in life, because life all around you keeps going.
Yes.
And if you aren't careful, it'll leave you behind.
Yes.
And this has been Young People Nation. Remember, there is always hope.
There's always hope.
Let's go. Christ Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Give the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross. He the #1 prospect. He the top boss. I was broke, I was empty. He the one that paid the cost. Really thought that I was cool. There was nothing like the savior. Now it's time for the truth. The whole world been waiting. It's Young People Nation. 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 The whole world been waiting. Whatever you going through, I know what he gonna do. Don't matter the circumstance, we going back to the root. Keep going, keep going. Let that seed keep growing. You need peace and we know it. Now it's time to live holy. Young People Nation. You know what time it is. Young People Nation. Get ready, the time is here. Get ready, we vibing here. We about to let God in here. Young People Nation. It's Young People Nation. Yeah, do it for the heavens, you know where we going. Influenced by his love, you know we gotta show it. It's time to put the youth onto what God is doing. Cause I can tell you now, right now, that God is moving. It's Young People Nation.